Om Tat Sat. My humble prostrations to the all-pervading Brahman, to my worshipful Guruji, Swami Jyotirmayanandaji Maharaj, to sage Narada and all sages and saints, and to each of you divine soul watching today's satsang. So today we will be starting Sutra number 40 from chapter 2 of the Narada Bhakti Sutras, which is Glory of Supreme Devotion. Commentaries by my Pujya Gurudev, Swami Jyotirmayanandaji Maharaj, and narrated by myself, Swami Nikhilananda. So let's get started. Chapter 2, Sutra 40. Sage Narada says, Labhyate api tat kripayaiva. Again, Labhyate api tat kripayaiva. Meaning, nevertheless, the association of the great ones is indeed attained by God's grace. An aspirant should never worry about finding the right preceptor, but should continue to discipline his personality, thereby preparing himself to receive spiritual guidance. So the focus is to become a good aspirant. He must observe the differences between saintly qualities and unsaintly ones, between vice and virtue, and thus turn his steps towards the cultivation of saintly ones. He will then be pursuing satsanga or good association, which by the immutable law of divine grace will miraculously lead him to a spiritual preceptor. It's one of the divine laws. When the aspirant is ready, when he is sincere, when he is putting in his effort, the divine energy connects him somehow, mystically, magically, through the divine powers. A guru appears. They say when the disciple is ready, the guru appears. In a lake there abound many fishes, frogs, snakes, and lotuses. Yet behold how the lotuses come into contact with the enlightening rays of the sun and bloom early in the morning, while the other creatures remain in their own limited worlds. So just as the nature brings the lotus into contact with the sun when it is ready, the divinity brings an aspirant into contact with the spiritual preceptor, causing the lotus of his heart to bloom. So don't worry about the right guru. You become the right aspirant, and the divine energy will bring you in touch with the right spiritual preceptor. As an aspirant advances, he begins to appreciate the qualities of humility, self-effacement, divine surrender, balance of mind, desirelessness, peace, bliss, and other divine qualities which adorn a truly enlightened personality. So we should emulate the qualities, saintly qualities, because we are ourselves trying to walk on that holy path. He will also be highly inspired by saintly personalities and eventually be drawn into their association. The divine energy will bring you into contact with these enlightened and developed highly spiritual personalities. He therefore does not burden his mind with the problems of locating a spiritual teacher. Nothing is impossible for the divinity. So the moment an aspirant is ready, the divine plan will create a spiritual association. So speaking of the glory of the satsanga, Sri Shankaracharya ji, Adi Guru Shankaracharya ji says, Satsangatve nihisangatvam, nihisangatve nirmohatvam, nirmohatve nischalatatvam, nischalatatve Jivan Mukti, which means by good association one attains the absence of all associations, which means you start getting vairagya or dispassion, and by the absence of all associations one becomes free of delusion. Freed from delusion, one becomes established in the immutable truth, which is the divine energy. And being established in the immutable truth, he attains liberation in life. So this is the essential journey, and therefore for walking on the path of satsanga becomes very important according to this sutra of Sage Narada. We will cover sutra number 41 tomorrow. This is Swami Nikhilananda. Om Tat Sat.